we have to study about Java terminology. Means whenever we are studying Java, so we come across several theoretical terms in Java. So we'll see all these terms one by one. So the first one is Java Virtual Machine. So as the name here suggests that it is a virtual machine. So whenever you install Java Development Kit software in your computer, so along with that JDK, this virtual machine software also comes there. So it is a virtual machine that actually decide so which type of bytecode it it will generate from compilation of the program, and that this machine will interpret that bytecode according to the operating system. So here in this infographic you can see that after compilation of a Java program, a bytecode will generated, and according to the operating system present in the computer, so there will be a particular JVM. JVM means Java Virtual Machine, and that particular JVM will execute that bytecode. Okay, so it is a virtual machine. So the source code after compilation that get converted into bytecode. So this bytecode will actually work like a machine code for this JVM. Okay, so bytecode is machine code for JVM, not for the original PC. But after interpretation of this bytecode by JVM, it also convert this bytecode into the original machine language code that will be executed by the original machine, not the virtual machine like JVM. So understood everyone this thing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Means I was saying that this bytecode can be you can say it machine code, means machine language code, but this machine language code is only for this JVM, this virtual machine. Because you all know that machine actually works on machine language or binary language or a language of 0 and 1. Since it is a virtual machine, so you can say bytecode is machine code for this JVM, not for the original computer or the machine. But after interpretation of this bytecode by this JVM, this virtual machine, this bytecode will get converted into original machine code that will be executed by the computer, the original machine. Okay, so don't get confused in bytecode or machine code. Bytecode can be intermediate code for the original machine, but machine code for the Java virtual machine. Okay.
Okay,
sir.
sir.
So where this original code means original machine code generated in this phase, in these phase. Can you tell? And so where this original machine language code generate in this infographic, at which position?
So in the
But
last JVM,
yes, after interpretation by JVM, the original machine code for actual machine is generated. Okay.
yes, sir.
Hmm. So I'll send this text in PDF form. So you all read this. So if a question arises that why Java becomes a platform independent language, means which is the sole thing that causes this platform independent property for Java. So the answer is this is JVM. Since any other programming language like C and C++, those languages actually do not use any JVM type of machine. So in that case, after compilation of the code in any other programming language, that code directly changes into machine language for original machine. So if machine language is generated for Windows operating system after compilation, so that machine code will not be executed by any other operating system like Linux or Mac. That is why those languages are not platform independent. But due to this implementation of JVM in case of Java, so Java becomes a platform independent language because this bytecode generated after this compilation will be same for every JVM. Means JVM for Windows, Linux or Mac, these all three JVMs can use the same bytecode for interpretation. After interpretation, they will generate different machine code for these different platforms. So when we have to transfer the code from one platform to another platform, so we actually do not transfer the code generated by the JVM, but we transfer the code generated after the compilation, that is bytecode. So this is the reason for platform independent property of Java. Any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay.
No,
So this one is actually the third. So next, second is bytecode in development process. So you already know about this bytecode. Bytecode is simply the code generated after compilation of Java program. And bytecode can be the machine code for Java virtual machine,
JVM.
not for the original machine. Okay, and this bytecode is saved with dot class extension. Okay, I had shown you this dot class file in my previous class, I think. Next one is Java runtime environment, or in short form, it is also known as JRE. So when you install JDK, so JDK here comes at the fourth uh, place. So whenever you install JDK for Java, that is Java Development Kit, so it comes with several software components. So you can categorize those components into two parts. The first part you can say uh, Java development tools, and the next part is Java runtime environment. So Java development tools include this editor, you can say text editor, and compiler, debugger. So text editor you can use for typing your program. Compiler can be used to convert the source code into bytecode. Debugger can be used to remove all errors present in the source code. So these software tools are used for development of program. Okay. Now after development and successful compilation, there is need for running environment of that program, and that environment is called Java runtime environment. So in Java runtime environment, what are the software components? So first one you can see a JVM, that is Java virtual machine. Applet support means if you are developing an applet of Java, So there will be environment for running that applet also. And there are many plugins. Plugins means some predefined classes that are uh, already defined in Java library. So these three things are present in Java runtime environment. So whenever you install JDK, so it comes into two parts. First is Java development tool, and next part is Java runtime environment. So Java development tools are meant for writing the source code, compilation of source code, and removal of errors from the source code. So when all these things you have completed, then you will be able to run your program. So for execution of program, there is a need of environment, and that environment includes a JVM, applet support, and plugins. So these three things are part of Java runtime environment. Any question you have?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Next is JDK. So JDK is that single software that we have to install for getting those two tools, that is Java development tool and Java runtime environment. So we can download it from Sun Microsystems website. It is available free of cost there. And after installation, we can now use those software tools for writing the program and execution of the program. Okay. In JDK,
Okay.
what are the things come that you can see: compiler, JRE, Java debuggers, and Java docs. Java docs are actually Java documents. So when you install JDK, so you will be provided with some document how to install it, or how to use some predefined classes that are present in JDK. So those are Java documents. Okay. And JDK is present in different format for different operating system. Wait, I am showing you. Just you can see J, JDK download. So you can see oracle.com. So you can download JDK from here. You can see now here links for JDK download, and if you want documentation separately, so you can download documentations
Sir,
also.
once again.
What?
Sir, once again.
Just in Google search JDK download. Okay, so you will get results. So check this oracle.com. So from this website you can download JDK. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
When you click this JDK download, you can see another web page is here. And here you can see for different operating systems, JDK is here. For Linux, if you are using, you can download from this link. Linux ARM64. It is actually another kind of this is RPM package. This is compressed archive. So compressed archive means the files you will get in a package, and you don't have to install those files. You just have to copy those files in your C drive. Okay, means a drive of operating system there. Debian is
Sir,
also a Linux. Yes, sir.
sir, I was trying to download it in Windows 7 of computer. Why it was not downloading?
Now you can download now.
Which one we have to download?
Windows 7.
Windows 7, 32-bit or 64-bit.
I haven't.
We have to
I don't
install.
know, sir.
You can just see your Windows specifications. Right click on this uh, my computer or computer icon, then go to properties, and here you can find your system type. There you can find whether it is 64-bit OS or 32-bit OS. Okay, so after finding this information, return back to this page, and you can see I have 64-bit operating system. So here you can see the Windows x64 installer. So I have to
Yes, sir.
download this one file. And if you have a 32-bit OS, so you will see here instead of x64, you will see here x86. Okay,
Yes, sir.
x86 you can see here. So actually this website checks in background about your operating system. So according to operating system, it provides the software link to you. Okay. And
Okay, sir.
uh, and don't download this compressed archive, download this x64 installer, and you can see the size here, and here it is link. So if you click on this link, and you have to just uh, check it check it here, and then click on this download button. Your downloading will start. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, after downloading, you have to make certain changes in your computer. So whoever that if you have completed your downloading and installation, I think you all know about installation, is it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So so after installation, you have to modify certain variables in your operating system. So you can consult me regarding that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Mm. Because if I show you here how to do this, so you can do this like in Windows 10 operating system only, but in Windows 7 the process is little bit different. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Mm. Okay, then next thing we have is features of Java. So I have actually noted down some important features of Java, so I will explain these features one by one. So the first feature you can see is simple. So here simple word means the syntax of Java means when you are writing the source code of Java, so it is very simple to write. Means there is a particular fixed thing there. Means you have to follow the particular template, a particular syntax for everything there. So once you remember all the fixed syntax, so it is very easy to write programs in Java. Next is robust. So robust means in certain other programming languages, many times you can see there is crash in this program. Means you are running that program, a particular program in C or C++ language, then after sometimes you can feel that your mouse is not working or your keyboard is not working. So these problem actually arise due to incompatibility. Actually those softwares or programming languages are compatible for some particular systems only. So in that case, your program may crash. But this is not case with the Java. Means you can use Java for writing the program. You can execute your program, and you will find no any crash in your program. Crash means simply hang. You can say hanging, hang problems. Means your mouse will not work, or sometimes your program will automatically close. Okay, so these type of problem actually do not arise in case of Java. So you can say Java is robust. Next is secure. So secure means means if you are writing program in Java, so it supports actually object-oriented programming approach. And in object-oriented programming approach, there is one of the principle that is data hiding. So you can implement that principle of data hiding to secure your data that is processed in program. Means if you want to display some data, you can display it. If you want to remain that data hidden from public, so you can also hide that data. So you can say it is secure. Is there any problem?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Next is object oriented. So object oriented is like a real world thing. Means as we interact with different objects in our real life, we explain the different properties or attributes of those objects. So in the same way, we can implement the whole programming concept in Java like object oriented. Means we can consider the whole program in a set of different objects, then we can define properties and their behavior. So it is just like a real world entity thing. Next one is platform independent. So you already know platform independent means the same program written in Windows operating system, the same program can be executed in any other operating system also. So no, there is no need to write separate program for separate operating systems. That is why it is platform independent. Next one is architectural neutral. So here architectural neutral is also like platform independent. So here platform independent means means operating system it is saying. Means on different operating system the same program can be executed. But in case of architectural neutrality, it means the same program can be executed on any CPU. CPU means is a processor in the computer. So sometimes programs are also dependent on the CPU architecture. For example, there are a number of companies that are making processor for computers, and they are using different architectures for their CPUs. So sometimes programming languages also depend upon the architecture of the CPU. But in case of Java, it is neutral to architecture of any CPU. Means you can execute the same program on Intel CPU as well as AMD CPU also. Next one is multi-threaded. So multi-threaded means two or more processes running together. For example, here I am using this MS Word application. So here I am typing my text. So in the background, the spelling and grammar check, the process is also running simultaneously with this typing process. So this is called threading. Means if in the same program, two or more than two processes are running together, so that is called multi-threading. So in Java, we can write program in which we can create two or more than two threads. So threads means processes. Means all those processes will run together when we will execute the same program. Understood or not?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Yes, sir.
So what do you mean by this multi-threading, Sneha?
Sir, what is object oriented? I did not understand.
Object oriented means the whole whole problem that you have to solve using a program. You can consider that whole program as set of objects. For example, if you are making program for storing information of a student in a school, so you can create different objects and you can consider a student as object, and then with those objects you can explain their properties, means the name of the student, class, roll number, address, phone number. But in case of other programming approach, you have to uh, follow you have to write code for the programming step by step. That is called procedure oriented. So these are the two programming approaches for writing programs. So in procedure oriented, we write the whole program in a step by step manner. But in object oriented program, we try to derive several objects from the same program, and then we write their properties and behaviors. Actually, I had made one program based on object oriented programming. I think you were not part of that class.
Yes, sir,
Explain.
May I?
the multi-threaded allows several processes or program at the same time.
Means more than one program at the same time simultaneously.
No, not programs. There will be
Processes.
single program, but processes will be more than one.
Yes, sir.
Means in the same
Processes.
program, at the same time, several processes will be executed. For example, if I am typing here and if I make any mistake in grammar or spelling, so this MS Word application will notify me, just like you can see here. There is zigzag line, red color zigzag line. It means it is showing a spelling mistake here. Okay, so here I am typing also, and in the background MS Word is checking spelling and grammar mistakes also. So
Yes,
two
sir.
processes are running together. So this is called multi-threading. Okay, so in Java we can write a single program having two or more than two threads. Threads means a simple process. Okay,
Yes.
means all those processes will run together at the same time. Okay, so it supports this feature of multi-threading. So it is one of the feature of Java. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Hmm. Okay, then in the next class we'll learn about this BlueJ IDE. Okay, so I'll send this notes in PDF form today. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.